Hello, I'm a volunteer from Korea. You're Aya Kim Eun-seo. I'm majoring in nursing in Korea. Actually, because my original dream was to be a scientist. I felt that nursing didn't really suit me. So I decided to take a break from school and go abroad to do volunteer work to get to know myself better. I thought that if I live in a foreign country with new people, I might be able to find out who I really am and whether another path, not being a nurse, suit me better. But after coming to Morocco, I came to realize something. I'm actually someone who suits the nursing profession very well. And in fact, I realized that I truly love being a nurse. It was a thank to you that I was able to realize this. At first, I was honestly very worried. I thought, what if no one come to the health class because it's boring and difficult? But unlike what I expected, so many of you came to the classes and you asked questions and participated so actively. From that moment on, I realized through these health classes that I love studying nursing and I love sharing with others. Thank you so much. Every moment I spent with you was a precious gift to me. So now shall we take a look back at all the health classes we have done together? Do you remember how we were doing the orientation session? Our first meeting was full of excitement and nervousness. Do you remember that after I introduced myself, we did an OX quiz together? And we also talked about why we need to learn about health, right? Health knowledge isn't something that only medical professionals should know. It's something we all need to know. All around the world, the number of medical professionals is decreasing, and that's because the burden placed on them is too heavy. But do you remember that we talked about how even people who are not medical professionals can share that burden? Ordinary people can protect themselves, their families, and everyone around them by learning CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, and how to dress wound, and how to stop bleeding. That's why we said health is everyone's responsibility. That is the reason why we started these health classes. After successfully finishing our first class, we moved on to our second session, which was about infectious disease prevention. Infectious diseases are caused when pathogens like bacteria, virus, fungi, or parasites multiply inside our bodies. We especially remembered the great suffering caused by the coronavirus, which began in 2019 and spread globally in 2020. At that time, people all around the world used hand sanitizer, wore masks, and followed cough etiquette. Healthcare workers stay up late every night trying to develop vaccines, and the government were busy controlling their people. Do you remember we discussed these topics in class? We talked that some cities went into lockdown during COVID-19, while others did not. And we shared our opinion on whether lockdown was justified. In the end, we agreed that lockdown one of the measures to prevent the spread of infection. But more importantly, we realized that knowing and following the right ways to stop the spread of infection is even more essential. To prevent infectious disease, we learn about key methods such as vaccination, the 6 steps of hand washing, and cough etiquette. We must try to practice these habits in our daily lives and make them part of our routine. Do you remember the activity we did with black glove and white paint? To see how slowly the 6 steps of hand washing clean our hands. Rub your palm together. Second, rub the back of your hand. Third, interlace your fingers and rub between them. Fourth, grip your fingers together and rub them. Fifth, twist and rub your thumb. Sixth, rub the tip of your fingers on your palm to clean under your nails. And do you remember the experiment we did using a large sheet of paper and spray bottles? To understand how effective proper cup etiquette can be. After finishing the infectious disease prevention class, we officially begin learning about first aid. The first emergency technique we learned was hands-on CPR. Right now, your heart are all beating without rest. But if that heart suddenly stops, it leads to cardiac arrest, and that is when CPR is needed. If someone collapses in front of you, and anyone performs CPR within 4 or 5 minutes, you could save a life. The hands-on CPR you learned is a life-saving skill that uses only your 2 hands, almost like a miracle. But wait, before we begin, let's review when you should use this skill. Do you remember the sign of cardiac arrest? First, the person suddenly collapses and doesn't move. And second, they don't respond when you tap their shoulder or speak to them. And third, they are not breathing or only gasping in a strange way. This is called agonal gasping. If you see these 3 signs, it's time to do hands-on CPR. So how do we do it? Just remember 3 things. Location, depth, speed. First location, touch the middle of your chest. You will feel a flat hard bone. Then slowly move your hand down. You will feel where the hard bone ends and soft part begin. That's the bottom of your chest bone. Now go to fingers up from that spot. That's where you should push. Place the heel of your hand on that spot. Use the heel of your hand to push the chest down strongly. And second is depth. Push down at least 5 cm like a head of one eraser. And third is speed. Push 100 to 112 times per minute. The best way to keep this speed is to sing the Baby Shark song like this. 아기 상어 뚜루루뚜루 귀여운 뚜루루뚜루 Baby Shark 뚜루루뚜루 아기 상어. Isn't it amazing that such a simple skill can save a stranger or even someone you love if they suddenly collapse?
Are you okay? Can you hear me? She's not responding.
Is she breathing?
No, she's not breathing. You please call the emergency. You please bring the AED, please.
This is emergency center. What happened? A person collapsed. She's not breathing. And she's not responding. Okay, help is on the way. Start CPR.
I'm tired. Let's sleep.
1, 2, 3.
엄마 상어 어여쁜 바닷속 엄마 상어
I'm tired. Let's sleep. 1, 2, 3.
힘이 센 바닷속 아빠 상어
할머니 상어 상한 바닷속 할머니 상어
할아버지 상어 멋있는 바닷속 할아버지 상어 바다에 사냥꾼
I'm tired. Let's sleep. 1, 2, 3. From now on, the emergency worker will take care of her CPR. Is she breathing?
She's not breathing. Oh my God! Call the emergency, please.
Hello,
Could
is
you
it-
please, we need help. My friend's collapsing. Please, we need help.
Help is on the way.
Okay,
Conduct CPR.
okay, thank you.
Ready, ready, ready for it.
I'm tired. Let's switch. 1, 2, 3. Keep going.
You're tired? Go ahead.
I'm so tired.
Emergency, emergency. Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, do it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Sit down, sit down. Sit down. Go ahead, go ahead. Everyone need it?
Do you remember the class where we learned about the 6 steps of wound care? What should we do when someone near us gets injured? First, the most important thing is to wash your hands before treating a wound. Wash your hands carefully using the 6 steps of hand washing. Then what's next? We need to clean the wound. But be careful, the wound must be washed with running water. After that, we disinfect the wound. For disinfection, we can use povidone or alcohol. We use alcohol to clean around the wound. but never apply alcohol directly on the wound itself. When cleaning with alcohol, wipe from the inside of the wound to outside of the wound. Then use povidone, betadine, to disinfect the wound directly. But don't pour too much on the wound. Instead, use a cotton ball or cotton swab to apply it gently. Next, apply ointment to the wound. And then cover it with gauze or band-aid. If the person is bleeding heavily or the area is swollen, you can also do the final step, bandaging. Okay, let's review them together. Step 1, hand wash. Step 2, washing the wound in running water. And step 3, disinfect the wound with povidone or betadine and alcohol. And step 4, applying ointment. Step 5, covering the wound. And step 6, bandaging. Do you remember? We practiced the sixth and final step of wound care, bandaging. Bandaging protects the wound, stop the bleeding, and keep the gauze in place. When we do bandaging, there are a few simple rules. Make sure the lower side of the bandage is facing up. Roll from the part furthest from the heart toward the heart. And third, overlap each layer by half of the previous one. We learned how to bandage a wrist when it's sprained. After learning this bandaging skill, we studied first aid for 3 different emergency situations. First, for a sprain or broken area, we learned the RICE method. R is for rest. Stop moving the injured part for 48 hours. And I is ice. For ice pack, wrap it with a towel. C is for compression. And E is for elevation. Raise the injured arm or leg above heart level. And you have to know the order of compress. For the first 48 hours, use an ice pack because cold helps reduce swelling and stop bleeding by making the blood vessels smaller, and after 48 hours, switch to a hot pack because hot help improve blood circulation and speed up skin and tissue healing. Second situation is for heavy bleeding. We apply direct pressure on the bleeding area. If the bleeding doesn't stop, we press on the artery near the wound to slow the blood flow. Do you remember where we put the red sticker together? Yes, the radial artery, brachial artery, and femoral artery. If someone has heavy bleeding, remember the artery point we learned: radial artery, brachial artery, and femoral artery. While heading to the hospital, press the artery point located above the wound to help slow the bleeding and go to the hospital immediately. Okay, next situation is burn. What's the first thing to do when someone has burn? First, cool the burned area with running cool water. But if there is no running water, don't use ice. Ice is too cold and can damage the skin. So even if the water isn't very cold, gentle running water is better than ice. And if a blister forms, don't pop it. Blisters are part of the healing process, so protect them. And if you have burn ointment at home, it's good to apply it gently after cooling the area.